This is real life, true story, and not the reality TV. Not the reality TV. We were complicit in the steroid era. We knew what was happening with the steroid era. We did not care. The records, all of that stuff, just throw it out the window. It doesn't matter. We are entertained. We are seeing stuff that makes us get up out the edge of our seat. We are wanting to witness what's taking place and what's happening. Check the numbers. We were all there. We had questions. Nobody wanted the answer to the questions in public, but we knew in private the answers to those questions. Welcome to VDG Sports. I am your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. Hey, quick question for Cubs fans, Major League Baseball fans, and casual fans. Don't worry, casuals. We can keep this on the DL. I won't tell a soul. What stays here or what happens here, it stays here. How do you feel about Sammy Sosa's apology? How do you feel about his apology? Does it change everything for you? Is it too little, too late? Or is this the game changer that you've been waiting on? For me, I'm gonna say this is the game changer that I've been waiting on. Why, you ask? Because look, we knew about the steroid era. Little dudes don't become big dudes overnight. Balls don't go flying out the park like that overnight. In fact, it basically saved baseball from that the time before that, when there was no games, no work, lockout, strike, you pick, you choose. I'm still giving you multiple choices and multiple options in that scenario that happened before the steroid era took off and they wasn't testing. But we knew one of the commercials during that time was, wait for it, wait for it. Hey, sit down. I'm telling you to wait for it, wait for it. Wait for it was chicks dig the long ball. Yeah, that was real. It wasn't a figment of my imagination. It's not something that I just made up on the fly. This is real life, true story, and not the reality TV. Not the reality TV. We were complicit in the steroid era. We knew what was happening with the steroid era. We did not care. The records, all of that stuff, just throw it out the window. It doesn't matter. We are entertained. We are seeing stuff that makes us get up out the edge of our seat. We are wanting to witness what's taking place and what's happening. Check the numbers. We were all there. We had questions. Nobody wanted the answer to the questions in public, but we knew in private the answers to those questions. So for us to know all of this information and then to point our fingers and say, you, yes, you, that's why I have a problem with Baseball Hall of Fame voters keeping Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens out of the Hall of Fame. It's well documented. A, they were Hall of Famers before and after. B, how can you say that it's a question of who they are, integrity and all of that stuff, when you have bad people in the Hall of Fame? Go back, look for yourselves. Don't let me push you in a direction. Hey, there's the water, drink when you're thirsty. There is the water, drink when you are thirsty. The answers are there, unless you know the answer and you don't want to admit the answer publicly. But in private, you cool, you are good. Hey, do you, or be you. Yeah, and that's not mine, I'm borrowing that. If you know, you know. Be you. That's why I don't have a problem with Sammy Sosa anymore, because he finally admitted, he finally apologized, he finally did what so many of us was waiting for him to do, so I can welcome him back. He's in my good graces again. I can say, Sammy, come on home. Come home, Sammy. It's cool. I forgive you. I forgive you. Because we've forgiven ourselves. We've admitted to that error. We've forgiven ourselves after so many years and said, this is what it was, this is what it is, and this is what is going to be in the future. Acknowledging, admitting mistakes, having the wherewithal to say, you know what? We could have done things better. We could have done things differently. Changes are coming. And more importantly, I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry for saying that, hey, it was all on you. I had nothing to do with this. And I came out, my mea culpa came a long time ago when I admitted that I was just as a part of that era, rooting for, knowing what was going on, knowing what was happening and all of that stuff, than the players that's under question, or the players that's been questioned, or the players that we just straight outright know. When I came to terms with that myself, I can be okay with whatever happens from that point on. But I was troubled. I was one of the ones who was thinking it's as holier than thou. We must do this, we must do that. And then I looked in the mirror and said, I have to maintain being a truth teller here. I can't peddle agendas. I cannot peddle fake falsehoods. I can't be a snake oil salesman, because it just doesn't make me feel good. I want to feel good, and I want to do what makes me feel good. And that's being a truth teller when it comes to this situation. And if I can take that stance, me just being a fan, players in that era, players that's in question, players that we straight up know, and if they just continue to peddle the agenda and peddle the lie, that's where I drew the line in the sand and said, you know what? Not today. Not today. If little old me and the little old us fans can do this, surely you guys can do this. That was my only issue. That was my only problem. I understand that era. I know that era. It is what it is. Everybody was complicit in it. Everybody was a part of it. If you watched it and didn't say anything, if you continued to go to the games and didn't stop going because you said something wasn't just right, if you wasn't rooting for, if you didn't have any interest in it, or if you wasn't a baseball fan completely. Now, if you wasn't a baseball fan completely, which is truly understandable because people say it's boring, and you just now coming to baseball, then I can understand. You can stand on principle. You can be like, I wasn't a part of this only because you wasn't watching and you wasn't into baseball then. Then I understand. You can be better than the rest of us. But a notch down is the rest of us who admit, is the rest of us who said, yeah, we were part of this. We were a part of this. Moving forward, we're going to acknowledge this, and we're just going to treat that era the way it needs to be treated. No need to put an asterisk. Everybody knows. We know things was juiced. We know players were big. But that's not different from different eras that we've been through in baseball. In times, we acknowledge those too. Those eras, dead ball, greenies, and all that stuff without asterisks. And that's how we come to grips and come to terms with the steroid era. And that's why I feel as passionate as I do about the players within that era admitting or just going ahead and saying what it is. And Sammy, once again, welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home.